everyone. Welcome to Soul Soundtrack for this evening. My name is Peter Cross. For those who don't know me, I'm the parish worker for ministries here at the church. And I'm here today with Katie Cross. Hi, Katie.
Hi Peter.
So, Katie, you're my wife. So I know a bit about your life story and where you came from. But for those who are watching who don't know, can you tell us a bit about you, what you do, where you come from? All that kind of stuff.
Yes, so I work at the University of Aberdeen. I am a fellow in practical theology, I think is my official title. So I teach theology and I've grown up mostly in the church. I come from the west coast of Scotland, and I grew up going to church with mostly my mum, my granny, and that's kind of where it all began. It's my origin story.
Good. Well, that's a good transition. So you said you went to church with your mom and your granny growing up. That's Merlin, by the way.
Wants to join in.
Tell us a bit about that growing up. What kind of church was it, and all that?
Well, side note, I was actually baptized Greek Orthodox. So my dad is Greek. But I was blessed in the Church of Scotland, and that's where I went for most of my childhood. And I joined the church when I was 16, actually. I'll tell you about that later. But I was absolutely desperate to join the church. I remember just being so excited to actually kind of feel like I was part of that. So grew up going to Church of Scotland, had a lot of involvement with the National Youth Assembly. And then I went to St Andrews and studied theology, went to Aberdeen, studied more theology, and now I'm here.
Yeah.
That's the abridged version.
Good. That's excellent. So the first song you've chosen for us this evening is Sing for God's Glory That Colors the Dawn of Creation. And it's written by Kathy Galloway.
Yeah, Kathy Galloway.
So tell us a bit about why you chose this song.
So the kind of easy answer is I chose it because we sang it at our wedding.
We did.
That's a good.
I was there.
You were there too.
Yeah.
It was a good day. So I really like it. And do you actually know the reason that I chose it for our wedding?
You can tell me a bit about that.
Do you know that? Do you remember the other song to that same tune is Praise to the Lord, the Almighty, the King of Creation, right? So my mum chose that for her wedding to my dad, and I really liked it. But then when I looked at the words of it, I didn't connect with it as much because I remember it just being like such a good kind of loud, triumphant hymn, but it was just a bit too... God will give you anything you want, and there were too many. You know this about me. I don't gender God. So there were too many kind of he/him instances of God, and in my teaching and in my life and in my faith, I don't tend to put gender on God. So I didn't really love that. So I found this other hymn by Kathy Galloway, and it has everything I love in it. So it has in the first verse a bit about why creation is beautiful and wonderful, which I love. It's all about the earth and how beautiful creation is. And then it goes straight into Sing for God's power that shatters the chains that would bind us. So it gets really like social justice-y, which I love. And it's all about God's justice and resisting evil. And
tyrants.
Tearing down tyrants. I love that. That's amazing. So that's the middle of it. And I think that's really important for my faith because a lot of the... things that influenced my faith when I was younger were to do with social justice and changing the world and campaigning to change the world. So we can talk more about that if you want. But the last verse is about the kind of journey of the saints before us. And a few years ago, I sat in on a sermon by Scott Rennie in Queen's Park Church. I'm sure you all know who Scott Rennie is. And it was about the cloud of witness in your life, about the saints that go on a journey before you. And I just really like the idea of all the people who have kind of handed me down my faith from other generations. And that they give us hope to restore us because they've been where we are and they know our struggles. So I really like that. So it's just got everything I love in it all at once. It's like a really good little capsule of my feelings about faith.
Yeah, and a great tune. And a good memory for me as well.
It's a belter. Yeah. It's a belter. I think if you sing it in church, you have to sing it really loudly. It is a belter of him. I really like it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a really good one. So Rachel is going to play for that play that for us now. So we'll go to Rachel. Take it away.
Sing for God's glory that colors the dawn of creation, racing across the sky, trailing bright clouds of elation. Son of delight succeeds the velvet of night, warming the earth's exaltation. Sing for God's power that shatters the chains that would bind us, searing the darkness of fear and despair that could blind us, touching our shame with love that will not lay blame, reaching out gently to find us. Sing for God's justice, disturbing each easy illusion, tearing down tyrants and putting our pride to confusion. Life brought our right, resisting evil onslaught, offering freedom's transfusion. Sing for God's saints who have traveled faith's journey before us, who in our weariness give us their hope to restore us. In them we see the new creation to be, Spirit of love made flesh for us.
Thanks so much for that, Rachel. So we'll move right into talking about your second song. Your second song is Christ is the World in Which We Move, and that one's by John Bell. Tell us a bit about that one.
It's another member of the Iona community. So Christ is the World in Which We Move, otherwise known to most as one of the most depressing hymns of all time. It's not a happy hymn, to be honest. And it's all about the people that we should be looking after in the world, people who don't usually have our attention, people who we should be thinking about. So again, there's just everything in it. It talks about like child loss, it talks about gender-based violence, it talks about kind of homelessness, avoiding people that we don't really like. It talks about the last verse is kind of about people who lose hope, who are really suicidal. So I remember the first time I heard this, and I thought that's just so bold, you know, because we always talk about, oh, you know, we need to look after people on the margins, but I really like how John Bell has given voice to who those people actually are, and where they are as well, and where we find them. So I really like that about it. I just love anything by John Bell, you know that.
Yeah. So you mentioned that John Bell and also Kathy Galloway are both members of the Iona community and quite prominent members. Talk about your connection with the Iona community, where that kind of comes from, and your experiences with them.
Mostly my mum, because my mum spent a lot of time in her kind of early adolescence on Iona, doing things with the Iona community. And then when I was about 2, my mum and dad actually took me there. So that was the last time I went to Iona, apart from we went. When was it? A couple of years ago?
Yeah. Was that 2017?
That's right.
Maybe. Yeah.
So it's just I mean, if you've been, you just know once you've been what it's like. It's an amazing place, but the community is amazing, and I think the music that they put out and the liturgy and the stuff that they put out into the world is so focused on social justice. And of course, the whole reason for the Iona community being founded was to do with social justice. And it's from Glasgow, just like me.
Well, there's a deepness and a richness to so much of what they do that's really, I don't know, it's really powerful for me. I mean, for me, growing up in America, I had never heard of them or really encountered much of the Iona community or John Bell's, many, many hymns. And they were ones that we sung a lot in my previous church, in cults as well. And I've definitely found them, just enriching, beautiful, and the tunes are lovely, because the tune for this is a familiar one.
Dream Angus. Yeah, it's a lullaby. It's like a Scottish lullaby. I was going to say, you were steeped in it when we went to Greenbelt a few years ago. Yeah, because I dragged you down there. And Greenbelt is a festival. It's kind of like a Christian arts festival. So it's very, there's loads going on with the Iona community, and they do big sing, and they get people up and singing, and I love that. But so much of that is justice oriented as well. So I think just in my life and in my faith, the things that have always driven me forward are things like the campaign for nuclear disarmament, which I'm part of, have been for a long time. Things like gender-based violence that I do a bit of work on at the moment. These are the kinds of things that really make me want to do theology, make me want to be doing the job that I do. When I was younger, I thought, this is a really good hymn, maybe I'll be a minister. But it didn't go that way, did it? No, it didn't.
Not quite.
I think I'm maybe just a bit too... I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good word for it. It's maybe just not my calling, right?
Sure.
Yeah, it's maybe just not my calling, but I think with the Iona community, the other thing is we're all called to do our bit to make the world a more just place. And I love that. I just love the philosophy behind it. I like the idea of the way, and I think that the words and the music to this just go so well together, just marry really well together.
Well, and the songs themselves, like this one set to a lullaby, would you say that adds quite, like, a lot of the Iona kind of hymns are accessible in a way, not just in terms of intellect, but with the big sing and the way they put people into parts and sort of turn people with terrible voices like me into a choir. There's almost an accessibility aspect to some of the songs.
They're so singable, and I think for Scottish people, like especially in the West Coast, where we would know a lot of these kind of folk tunes, that was really why they were chosen. But I think the other thing about this hymn and others, obviously Rachel's going to sing it for us and do a beautiful job when she sings it. I think a lot of them are written to be sung together in community with each other, and that's something about, me, I'm not a big fan of modern worship music, honestly. I don't know why. I've always kind of tried, but it's not as much my scene, and I think it's maybe because some of the songs that I hear feel a bit more individualistic to me. It feels like just one person singing, and that's fine. I think that's okay, but sometimes if I'm in a congregation and I'm singing, what I want is to feel the people around me singing with me. And I think a lot of these songs are written for ease of singing. I also studied sacred music at university, so
well, some of that
you can maybe tell.
Some of that also goes back to the first hymn in the line about the saints that have traveled life's journey before us, and some of singing this corporately is about all of us traveling life's journey together, which means that when Rachel plays this next one, we expect all of you sitting at home watching to be singing out loud as you do, so we can have a sort of global choir.
Exactly. I mean, just to think about that, like we picked that hymn, and one of the things that we really liked about it was obviously there were people who had died before we got married or couldn't be with us, and I think it was a sense of having them and having them on our journey. There's one last thing that I really love about this, which is the line in the first verse, Christ is the one who meets us here, which I love, which is about wherever we go and wherever we're called to care for other people, we go knowing that Jesus meets us there already and goes ahead of us. And I think that that's really good to know, because John Bell and the Iona community last week And all of these people who write these hymns, I think they call us to really kind of unsettling things. He writes, but really unsettling things. Him and Graham Moll did, you know, and I think what they're saying is, the world is a difficult place, it's a dark place, but the good news is we're not on our own, and there's someone, you know, with us. Jesus is with us doing that caring. We're friends of Jesus doing that with him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for picking those. Rachel is gonna play this one for us now, so we'll go ahead and let Rachel do that for us just now. Rachel.
Put the dog to sleep.
Christ is the world in which we move. Christ are the folk we're summoned to love. Christ is the voice which calls us to care. And Christ is the one who meets us there. To the lost Christ shows his face. To the unloved he gives his embrace. To those who cry in pain or disgrace, Christ makes with his friends a touching place. Feel for the people we must avoid, strange or bereaved or never employed. Feel for the women, feel for the men who fear that their living is all in vain. To the lost Christ shows his face. To the unloved he gives his embrace. To those who cry in pain or disgrace, Christ makes with his friends a touching place. Feel for the parents who lost their child. Feel for the women who men have defiled. Feel for the baby for whom there's no breast. Feel for the weary who find no rest. To the lost Christ shows his face. To the unloved he gives his embrace. To those who cry in pain or disgrace, Christ makes with his friends a touching place. Feel for the lives by life confused, riddled with doubt and loving abused. Feel for the lonely heart conscious of sin, which longs to be pure but fears to begin. To the lost Christ shows his face. To the unloved he gives his embrace. To those who cry in pain or disgrace, Christ makes with his friends a touching place.
Thanks, Rachel, for playing that. And thank you so much, Katie, for being our interview subject for
Thank
this
you.
Soul soundtrack and for the songs you picked and their wonderful lyrics and the stories behind them that are part of you and part of the writers and part of the lyrics and all of that kind of brings us together. So I hope that this has been a fun evening for you. I know Merlin has enjoyed himself as always.
Yeah, I put him to
being on
sleep.
camera.
He's rude, he's fallen asleep.
I know. Well, thanks everyone, and thanks for joining us. Yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you.
being here, Katie. And we'll see you with more of these through the week.
Have a good Kirk Fest, everybody.
Yes, Kirk
Yes,
Fest.
Kirk Fest!